more target acquisition because she has the move speed as well. This is a return to, say, a 2016 spring comp, or maybe even a 2015 comp. 2015 summer, certainly we saw a lot of Sivir Maokai. Afreeca do things a little bit different. But speaking of a little bit different, Huni needed a new tank, and he found one.
All right, so Lane Gragas coming back in. Haven't seen this one for a considerable amount of time.
Very safe, farms from range. W or Q max, we'll wait and see which one that is. Q is the most likely for safe farming, but W max happens sometimes as well.
An ultimate slow, but Cassiopeia would be pretty susceptible to that explosive cask. So, I don't know, we'll see how this matchup has to go. Huni definitely will have been practicing this one. And then Peanut yet again going to the Rengar. Spirit happy to pass over it to get back on the Graves. Had a really strong start.
They gave 2 chances for SKT to take it. Could have first picked it, ended up second rotationing it. So happy, as you say, for Peanut to opt into that champion. Mid lane matchups one we've seen many times. Kuro on the Cassiopeia has the natural advantage, but it's gotten smaller with Rise reworks, and it's still Faker versus Kuro. Kuro put in a great shift in the previous game. If he can play with the same level of confidence, it'll go a long way to helping with the mid lane matchup. But then more information about the Sivir that Kramer once again played versus the Rocks Tigers against the Barris to great effect.
Yep, all right. Interesting picks on both sides here. We're going to see how Kuro manages in a second matchup against Faker. Let's go ahead and get onto the rip for game 2 and see if Afreeca Freecs can close this out with a 2-0. All right, here we go. Afreeca Freecs. Oh dear. Huni, no! Body slams over the wall. He gets locked down. The twisted advance flashes over. Do they follow? Yes, they do. First blood already to Afreeca Freecs. Back onto Spirit. Oh no, and Wolf. Can they catch him? Still has the flash available. Flash forward from Marin. Flash away by Wolf. A devastating start for SKTelecom.
And Afreeca once again surprise us with their smarts. They brush camp the banana brush just towards the river because famously champions like Nidalee and Gragas, who can take a spell to get over the wall, like Lucian can as well, like to go for deep wards because of their safety and not needing flash to do so. Brush camp was there. They pick up the first blood onto Graves. Spirit had a nice start in game 1. Has a nice start in game 2 too. Had to have a delayed T1 fighting champ because the fighting, and they need to have some gusto. They're already on the back foot.
Yeah, had to gather their energy back. I thought Huni started with the barrel roll, but
no. Again,
goes for the body slam.
Just like Nidalee's often start with W to put down aggressive vision to work out jungle pathing. This is what Gragas often does. The surprise here is that I don't feel like top Gragas was on anyone's lips coming in 7.2. The buffs were nice, 3 extra armor, and the extra 2% maximum health, now 6% with the happy hour. But they already were ready for what was unique about Gragas, specifically level 1 warding patterns. Now Gragas has to enter lane, is level 2, will still get through lane pretty happily. Been some real surprises in this game already.
Just have to keep our eyes on Spirit, the big benefactor of that first blood. See how he can affect the map. Faker as well coming over onto this Rise as a mastery of this champion, among others,
but
of course.
20-4, 83% win rate on Rise. He has been the most impressive Rise ever since he made it very much a cornerstone of his champion pool. Maybe a time where Flame and top Rise was the thing in very early Season 2. But since then, Faker made us a believer of his Rise. And he's still a big carry job. We saw the damage charts. Faker just never got into the fights he wanted to get because Afreeca was so organized in their play in the previous set.
And now he can directly insert himself into those fights with the Realm Warp.
Gragas is very, very strong in the early game. So talking about Gragas as a champion, it's going to be a fairly tanky Gragas. Don't expect it to be the Echo going proto-belt kind of build in top lane. It's very much going to be Spirit Visage Rush. Happy Hour interaction, 6% max HP plus the bonus healing means that Spirit Visage is going to be a very nice itemization. The base value is early before resists are complete, you do a lot of damage. Like, Gragas is the ultimate. If he shows up in an early fight while everyone else has building block items and he's level 11, he really does burst in pseudo fashion to what we remember, you know, with like bowed heads of the AP Gragas days. But then his damage literally falls off a cliff. He will not deal well when magic resist and armor starts to come from the enemy side. So his power window is really level 6 to 11 when not many champions can deal with him either in a side lane or in a team fight.
See if SKT can close out before that becomes a major concern. Marin playing up really far forward. Huni starting to walk away.
Commentary lines that have been heard before.
Classic Marin. Here comes Peanut jumping out, but here comes Spirit. And just fire back. Locks him down with a twisted advance, but they won't get much damage in.
He's helping to push the lane here.
That end of the line, crashing the wave up into the turret. Marin goes low, Huni as well.
Nice pathing from Spirit this series. The smart invade in game 1 and then a turnaround knowing that he could easily out-duel level 2. Rengar was what opened up a nice start for Afreeca Freecs, and the matchup no one was talking about. First time ever matchup between Peanut and Spirit. This is sort of matchup where if it was 2015 Spring WE Spirit and Peanut from last year, it would be a dream match because Spirit was in such wonderful form. He's looked up and down and then some this season. He's certainly had good and just horrible performances, but the peaks, that's what we're starting to see. Kuro showing us things we didn't expect from him in game 1, the aggression that he doesn't normally used for. Spirit channeling some of his older performances, and now Faker, level 5, bro.
Yeah, coming pod, Kramer all by himself. It's going to be the exhaust thrown down. A first blood comes through. Wolf picks up the killing blow, or rather, first blood for SKT. They put one on the board.
Easy stuff there for SKT, so ordered. Don't expect the Rise to gank pre-6, but Ghost was enough, and Misfortune of all people was able to tank the turret.
Picking up Misfortune, Huni.
They really want to see a body slam from Huni.
Pushing forward. Still has it, flashes over.
Okay.
He'll be all right, but still Summoner Spell down. And looks like we have a pause coming out.
To confirm, we can see it on the screen. Drunken Rage is the first max from Huni. What that gets you per level is going to be mostly the cooldown reduction going down. So lots of instant trades in melee range, which he's going to be in a lane against Maokai for the whole game. So that part is just fine. Mana cost starts to get a bit out of order for the Q. So even though he won't have quite the same ranged wave clear, it's a constant 30 mana cost for the Drunken Rage, and the cooldown goes from 8 to 4, so cooldown reduction build, plenty of Drunken Rage autos. Gonna have to assume it's another audio issue.
Seems to be the thing that has troubled us the most these last couple days. Looks like it might be on Peanut's side of things. So over into the other booth we go. Have a day off tomorrow, so hopefully we can get this looked at before we come back in on Saturday and have all the problems taken care of.
We'll get to calm down a bit from what has been already a very fiery second series.
I mean,
we could have 6 games tonight, Achilles.
We very well could.
I mean, it's likely we have 6 games. SKT going down 2-0 is almost unfathomable.
Mouse issue, okay.
Interesting.
So we'll have to get that squared away. Hey, man, sometimes mice break.
All the players are required to bring multiple mice, so should just be a replacement for this particular issue. Surprising that Faker was able to make the roam that he did, but it seemed to be just on a recall from Kuro, and then just walked down daintily to bot lane. Pre-6 Ghost Rise, and able to pick up a nice turret dive, well executed from SKT.
I mean, just well-timed in general, because Tucson had also recalled, so Kramer completely all on his lonesome, and that is going to help Spring bang forward. He's already got a bit of a CS lead.
Marin standing up. He's like, all right, guys, we won the series. Let's just go home.
I think that's the end of it, right?
He's doing the classic, we won the first best of 3 and a best of 5 and leaving after 2 games.
He's just throwing on his jacket. I can see him.
Ooh, video games.
Indeed, I like video games. I just like when they stop. Spirit roaming up towards top. Huni is not level 6. Flash twisted advance coming through. And this looks like Huni is dead to our rights. Trying to trade back as much damage as he can, but one more shot from Spirit would do it. Marin will go down as Peanut arrives, but Moreau is here to back up Spirit to make sure that Peanut can't go for the double kill. Meanwhile, in the river, Tucson and Wolf trading back, but the Mantra Q missing. Oh dear. Definitely gives the upper hand over to Wolf, who's just going to continuously chunk down this Karma, force her to use all of those potions.
Basically, Faker was walking up, and Wolf is trying to bait the Karma into walking around and getting killed by Faker, but not to be. Tucson was desperately hoping the camera work was still in the top lane, but no, we caught that, Tucson.
He recalls yet again, but SKT not in a position to go for that dive in bottom. Peanut getting jumped on. We'll be able to make it out. Just has to walk over the miasma. They can start leaping forward yet again.
7.2 Rengar. Basically the same as you remember. We still do not have the...
Coming in blind. Body slam does not connect, but they get onto Marin. He doesn't have flash available. Uses the arcane smash. Throws out the sapling to try to buy some time, slow them up. Realm Warp coming through from Faker will arrive. They're going to go for the dive. Huni taking up the turret while he can. Faker goes in, still has a plethora of damage. They have to trade this back. Now it's over onto Faker. Can he get out of here? Has to flash. They come up with the kill, but Huni's going to pay for it. Marin getting a kill in a 1v3 scenario. Meanwhile, down bottom. Flash away from Bang. Gets a big hit in onto Tucson after lining up that chain of corruption, but cannot find the kill.
I mean, Marin could not have played the top lane any better. Just masterful top lane mastery of this particular champion. We know that, of course, Maokai win rate on SKT was 29-1, starting to go down, lost in China, lost here, so it's certainly not quite the same unfathomably high win rate, but he's 3-2 on this season. It's been a staple for him, and remember, he soaked 2 bans in the first round, not even including the second round. That's why they took the early Maokai. They thought they had something special for it, and it was just Marin. SKT wanted to brute force this, everyone trade tanking. My kingdom for a Karthus is what Marin was thinking at the end of this, but still got one answering kill and used some flashes and summoners. The absolute maximum you could expect in a 1v3.
Yep. So he's 3-2. That's actually what Huni is right now in deaths and assists.
And he's died 3 times already.
Yeah. They've been targeting him. We'll see how much work Koma has put in. We see that he's we'll have to hold that thought as Tucson gets jumped on, slowed up, but Blast Cone takes him out. But here's Peanut over the wall. Goes out the Bola, but the flash will take Tucson to safety.
So Tucson's been the one that's been largely targeted, but the bot lane in general, we mentioned in the previous series and in picks and bans that the only goal for Afreeca's bot lane is to go even. They don't expect any more from them. They've gone for the unfancied Sivir pick, so Varus will have control of this lane. He can choose to shove whenever he so wants. And Tucson has been caught out of position. We saw him miss some skill shots as well. 10 CS down against a Varus is decent for Kramer. The death obviously not ideal. The bot lane's going as expected, you'd say. Any more than this, things start to look bad.
Is it decent for Sivir or decent for Kramer?
Decent for Kramer, Tucson.
All right. Spirit now roaming down to the bottom lane. SKT getting a bit aggressive. They throw out the Chain of Corruption, get on the Tucson, but here comes Spirit. End of the line will not connect. Collateral damage not enough to finish off Bang. They make it out, but that's going to be the flash from Wolf and the heal from Bang.
I mean, Bang and Wolf expected there to be something going on just because Kramer and Tucson continued to walk up. That's why they were ready to flash Wolf instantly, and the heal coming through. Baker's going to walk up. There's no mana on Kramer. This could be bad.
Only one spell.
Yeah, the one spell shield was enough to stop the spell weaving and thus any sort of kill pressure.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and just initiate this swap as Faker will be sticking around in bottom. And oh boy, yet another pause. Coming out looks like Peanut. No, disconnected. All right, well, that's bad.
Have to assume it's still mouse-related issue. It was Peanut last time as well.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to go ahead and swap this out. Get the new one plugged in. And should be back underway momentarily.
Confirmation once again that it is a mouse issue. I guess we're happy it's not another audio issue.
That's, yeah.
These are much easier to fix. Just put a new mouse in. One of them will work. No naming and shaming. Also, I can't see what type of mouse it is.
I mean, if I had to think about it, just have to look at SKT sponsors.
Another fun story. It is Marin's birthday on the 12th of February. Last match he will play before his birthday. He turns 26. By far the oldest Korean pro gamer. Score would be second. Trace retired, so no longer has that title to his name.
We'll move to coach. We were talking about this yesterday.
Slimmed down as well, looking very dapper in the Samsung booth. Speaking of Samsung, looking forward to Saturday, first series of the day. Consider what we have back-to-back. Afreeca versus SKT, which we now know is a cool series because Afreeca won Game 1 to make it more competitive than even we were optimistically hoping for. Our next matchup, on the first matchup on Saturday, is KT Samsung, which at one point was looking like second versus third. Now, who's to say?
Yeah.
Top three certainly collide, you could say.
Absolutely. And Afreeca, I mean, they're making a statement for themselves. Here right now, I think currently in 6th place or so.
Look, will
Could
Afreeca
move up.
win LCK Spring 2017? I would say almost certainly no. Will they make it to Worlds? That's a very different question.
That feel when KT doesn't make it to Worlds again?
That feel when one of Longzhu, Afreeca, SKT, and Samsung don't get to go to Worlds?
We need more slots for Korea.
We already had the trade-off. We get the auto-seeding, no play-in. We do not get the 4th seed.
I think all the Koreans would rather make the trade of having more teams than having to play through the play-in.
Yes, but Riot Games don't want to make that trade, Achilles. They do not want the all-Korean semifinals.
At that point, you're getting close to quarterfinals as well.
But we get to cast this tournament, so
yeah.
Whatever you can say about international events, which are awesome in their own right, we get to see them all playing. The Gauntlet is just going to be madness. Because if you think about the Gauntlet last year...
It's all for us and our mystery caster.
Why are you doing the Skrilla hands? I don't think Skrilla is actually relevant for this all for us. But the reason why I'm talking about the Gauntlet, think about the Gauntlet last year. Especially before Samsung got good, it was like, well, Afreeca made it each time. They're not going to make it past 5th. Samsung kind of a thought after there. This nonplussed Bang, who now realizes he's on camera.
He's just staring
We're just checking out his mustache.
He's like, why is everyone laughing?
If he was really on board, he'd be like playing with the mustache. He's not doing that.
Yeah, just scratching his chin.
Doesn't want to draw attention to the mustache. He had an interview about the mustache, said, I'm going to stick with it. The interviewer talked about, okay, but like a lot of your fans are saying you should shave it off. And he's like, well, look, respectfully, it's my decision. So that's fair enough, but...
Some of those fans are going to pin him down at the next fan meeting and pull out a razor and just start shaving his face.
That'd be like the most violent act in Korea in a while.
That would be. Wolf,
it's Wolf.
See, Wolf knows when he's on camera.
Where's the Wolf hands, though?
He's well aware. Yeah, I need to see those claws.
Where are they? See, he's much more... This guy is mugging for the camera now. Who's going to look away first, the camera or Wolf?
That's slow.
Yeah! That's not actually him.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That'd be an impressive bend of his arm if that...
This is definitely a game of chicken. Who will look away first? It's not going to be Wolf.
Oh, no, he is going to stare down
Wolf is
this
just
camera.
going for the most manly stare. Bang is like, what's going on here now?
He's still lost. He just doesn't know what's happening.
Who's going to look away? Oh, this is like
Please don't cut away.
No, who is going to lose this game of chicken? It is not Wolf.
I need this entire...
Oh.
No, Wolf, you fool!
Good job, OGN. You win again.
Oh, man, OGN always comes out on top. Oh.
MVP Marin, well, so good so far.
Yeah, he's working his way towards maybe a double MVP. Could see that come out.
Man, a double MVP against SKT would be just the most narrative.
Yeah.
I think if they win, just give him the MVP. Don't even bother polling us for votes. Just in case you guys didn't know, in the Seoul East Stadium on the OGN side of things, they do ask global casters for votes on who we would like to be MVP. I believe it's all the casters and then some writers and other staff in the back. That's how the votes are tabulated. They don't always listen to us, Achilles.
No, they don't. On occasion, but...
How can the mouse issue still be persisting?
I don't know.
Is it possible that there's only one backup and the backup's not working and he has a mouse that no one else uses?
If I had to assume anything from here, it's maybe the firmware on the mouse is broken.
They just like,
They
they're like, well, we've got this trackball that
Oh,
Kerp left here.
Hooney
We
looks
could use that.
mad.
A lot to be happy about for Hooney. He's like, this Grok is not working out. Can we remake? I'll take anything else.
Are we flashing back to 2015 Worlds? He's just not looking very satisfied at the moment, but still lots of fans out in the audience showing their support for SKT despite the Game 1 loss.
And all I'll say about this game is, you know, you asked the question a week ago or so, is it better that both teams come in undefeated for the Telecom War? And I said no. can you agree now that Afreeca beating both teams make this league even better? Because now it's like, whenever Afreeca take the Rift, will they beat Kongdon Monster? Maybe. Will they beat SKT? Maybe.
I can definitely side with you on that one. This scenario is quite possibly the best scenario. I want to see Faker with a mustache. I don't even know what that would look like.
I'm sure it's been photoshopped many times.
Well, there's like a video he did for, I think for Riot on the front page, or for somebody, maybe Naver. It was Naver on the front page of the Korean client, where they have a drawn-on beard and mustache.
Did you see the Deft story where they had Deft with a really large head, and he contacted Riot and said, "Please make my head smaller." So they made his body huge. Riot Korea trolls, man.
Absolutely wonderful. So many Pokemon today and recently.
Pokemon Go Fever.
Ooh, that's a good drawing.
Damn, Faker is pissed.
He is anime as hell.
He is so mad. That's how that's actually what we missed, the reaction shot after game 1. That was during the break, guys. You missed it, sorry. But Faker was really angry.
And you can see Peanut testing out the microphone.
No, the mouse.
The mouse, sorry. I'm staring at his microphone.
What did Kuro have for breakfast today? That's what I need to know.
I don't know.
Kuro just suddenly was like, I'm new improved Kuro 2.0 over here.
I mean, I'm kind of wondering if the
Do you think he's ever, like, done the special delivery into aggressive Valkyrie in his whole career? Somehow I don't think so.
I can't really think of a time that he had. But looks like we might have gotten that pesky mouse issue taken care of. Just kidding. I feel like maybe the coach for Afreeca pulled a Space Jam on him and they gave him like this mystery liquid. It's Mike's secret stuff, and he drinks it. He says it's going to make you stronger.
You mentioned Afreeca. The other fun thing is they don't even have the same coach they had before. He went over to the Rocks Tigers. So everything changes for Afreeca. They still beat SKT. It's in their contracts somehow.
I mean,
contracts with.
We're still trying to nail down why Jin Air plays such long games.
The coach stayed the same. That's the one that makes sense. This one makes less sense.
Something mystical then about Afreeca. It's the power of the name. SKT fears it.
It's also, amusingly, 2 streaming platforms, I guess, in some ways, given that SKT have just jumped onto Twitch. And Afreeca is the main Korean competition to Twitch TV. You may not know, but this year, previously the Nice Game TV Challenger League is now on Afreeca TV, so they do shoulder quite a lot of the Korean broadcasts, but again on the Challenger side of things.
Yeah, so if you want to see CJ Entis play, you can always check out those streams.
There's some Go Ball. There's an English cast of it as well, so they're trying to make it more and more palatable.
He's hovering around in bottom lane. He needs to come in, but Kramer's got plenty of wave clear at the moment, so should be all right. Peanut spotted out by that ward, so they know that he's roaming down the river.
I mean, if Sivir gets through this matchup, which we're now seeing twice, Sivir in the late game is still a massive teamfight force and can buff up champions like Maokai and the other meta picks. So interesting to see if other ADs pick up this Sivir. Certainly was a popular pick a couple of years ago. I mean, they are losing turret damage, so they are still getting punished in some ways. It's just not as bad as you'd expect a Sivir lane to be in 2017.
Yeah.
As I started that sentence, I didn't think it would be as memey as it sounded at the end. And yes, memey is now the adjective form.
Wonderful. Put it in the dictionary. They want to keep pressuring out on that turret. It's been giving Bang a pretty decent CS lead. Faker goes in.
Actually gets the
petrifying gaze. Yeah, Faker not able to juke this out. There's on the realm board, but it doesn't matter. Marin arrives. And Faker will go down. Kuro coming up with a killing blow. Now Spirit in mid. They're going to try to shove in, get some good damage onto this turret. It's already down to half HP. Could just be first brick coming through.
Marin doesn't do anything in half match. Instant flash, exactly what he needed to. Got the kill onto Faker. They will take first brick, and of all the first brick, this is the most prized one. Taking out the outer mid lane turret. Suddenly Rise is going to have to be more accountable. Minions will push on to his inner turret. How do they do it, Afreeca? I still don't know.
Neither do I. Peanut.
Helpful that Huni has a performance like this, though. It's been a poor one for him.
This time he rides the blast cone when he wants to. It's going to be Peanut wrapping all around. Right now, the recall did come through from Tucson and Kramer, so this should be the turret going down in bottom. Trade some gold back into SKT's favor, but Afreeca still maintain a very slight lead.
So as Rise reaches his apex of power, that's exactly the same point, basically, when Gragas starts to fade. So the fact that Gragas so far behind kind of means he's going to be little more than an aura and ult bot this game. He probably will never be relevant. Whereas Maokai, you know, very, very simply will be the teamfight tank of all. Sivir has more options in the late game than Varus. Sure, there are playstyles that Varus does better, sieging in particular, but the team fighting phase will be really good for Afreeca Freecs. So the fact that they're ahead early, or even, I guess it's better to say, with the gold so even, does really serve to put them in a spot where things are even late game as well. They're in a very realistic shot of winning team fights, Killias.
Yep. And now Mountain Drake going over to them. They know that SKT can see this from the Scuttle Crab, but they just don't care. Go ahead, take that one away. Faker going to be stealing a red buff. Actually, okay.
I guess he saw Maokai. Maybe he saw Maokai leave lane.
Perhaps thought he was going to get collapsed on.
Certainly the chance. He only had exclusive vision of one brush and no other information.
So just playing it safe. Still has a control ward down. It looks like actually Peanut.
Yep.
That will be taking this one away. So
we'll still get the same counter jungling, but safety first, which, given how the game's going, is probably the right call.
Definitely something that SKT needs to practice at the moment.
Frozen Heart Rush is interesting for Mar. It means he has no health, so he's still able to be dived.
Realm Warp coming in. Huni considerably tankier than last time. Twisted advance from Martin to try to get himself back underneath the turret, but looks like he's just going to crumble under the pressure that SKT's laying down. A kill pick up from
bot
Faker.
lane.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Yakoro coming in. Exhaust comes down onto the Cassiopeia, but it does not matter. Spirit comes up with the kill with the collateral damage.
No first pick, remember, for SKT, even though they have the inside track to ending this laning phase in top, ending lane phase in bottom. Given how it was going for Afreeca, it's probably a bigger prize as well. So trade of kills, trade of turrets. Don't think Huni's going to really do anything realistic to the inner turret. No Iceborne Gauntlet hijinks with this Gragas yet. So fairly even. But Afreeca get perhaps a more important turret, given that they now have mid and bot lane down, and suddenly Drake becomes very hard for SKT to defend.
Exactly, and there's going to be a second Mountain Drake coming up. And Afreeca can net that. Be quite good for them. Huni has worked his way down towards mid. The explosive cast not available, so can't really go for a big play onto Kuro underneath the turret. Just take away those Raptors and likely go back to base.
Cassio knows summoners, so getting a kill onto the support was at the pretty steep cost for Kuro. Marin caught again.
Oh, yep. Getting found here. Faker coming around the sidelines, has that Root Prison to offer up, but Marin still very tanky. Bullet time comes through. The bullet connects. He goes back with the twisted advance in onto Peanut. Heals up for the Sap Magic pass, and then he's going to be able to walk out of there. Flash not available. Flash not needed.
Oh boy.
Realm Warp coming in. Faker comes in by himself.
Oh, massive petrifying gaze!
Beautiful from Kuro. Perfectly timed. Comes up with the kill. Spirit walking away with the killing blow, and Faker biting off way more than he could chew.
Really slim timing window, exactly timed the Realm Warp. Good stuff from Kuro once again. Has been the biggest surprise for us this series. How far on form he's been. Some surprising underperformances from the likes of Peanut and Huni, sure. But Kuro, the level of performance against Faker that he has very rarely been able to emulate. Now Huni.
Oh, meanwhile back at mid. Huni, this time he's got the explosive.
I'm sorry,
cast.
Kuro, I said too much.
Yeah, we'll have to see the setup on this one. Kuro sticking around way too long. Gets taken out. No summoner spells to save his life.
And Huni flash and ulted, so.
Had to invest a lot. Let's see if we get a replay of that one. For now, SKT moving over to take out this Rift Herald.
These two are going to take a long, long time to do this.
Yeah. Peanut gets a little bit of healing in. Should be okay.
He smites early for the extra sustain.
Yeah. And there we go. We'll pick up the buff.
Well,
okay.
Nothing to be done there.
Yeah, that's about all she wrote. So giving a nice kill over to Bang puts him on the board outside of the assist that he was able to get.
And Huni finishes his first item. It is Spirit Visage. Very, very delayed after his poor start.
Yeah, now going to be looking for that Sunfire Cape to see the cloth armor come in.
Was worth noting that, just like we said that Kuro invested a lot to get the kill onto Misfortune and the turret bot, it was all that invested from Huni just to get a kill. They weren't able to take the mid turret.
Wolf getting zoned out of the river. Freeca will get rid of that control ward.
Let's take a turret.
And yeah, looks like they will be able to knock this down. Huni comes forward, doesn't have enough to clear. Now the tether coming down. Let's be careful. Pops to sit back in. Wolf arriving. Not able to get on top of him. They'll force the flash away from the Karma in the end.
Remember that the nerf onto the Gragas barrel stuck, so there is that fixed travel time, so you cannot go for the old ult plays that you used to be able to, the body slam flash into ult. So that's why Sivir can really wait.
Bit of a misfire there from Kuro, who's otherwise been pretty on point.
Yeah, just to finish that mechanic, Sivir can wait with the spell shield much more reliably than she could before. She kind of had to spell shield 2 spells at once that you couldn't really be done in previous times, but now you can just wait for the animation and use it. Surprising to see Marin go for this rush on the Frozen Heart. Sure, attack speed is relevant for Rengar and Varus, but not a massive stat. The armor does a lot of value against this team. Only started building health now. Just a Spectre's Cow. Thinking about jumping onto Peanut.
There we go. All right, spots it.
Control ward will be cleared by Spirit as well. Same build, so even though it's not Katarina, it's really liking Steric's Gauge, the first big rush from the jungle.
And still a lot of burst there from the Rise.
I mean, 4-0 also worth noting from Spirit, who quietly is having quite the series.
That he is.
I was excited about the Graves, but I'm really impressed with how powerful it's been this series, and last series as well. Worth noting that Kondu Monster played that very well.
I mean, maybe Spirit's trying to pick up an MVP of his own. Peanut, oh god. Oh, spots them. And Petrifying Gaze not going to connect yet again. See, second too late there. Good check by Peanut, although a bit inadvertent as he threw down the sweeper.
There should be an unanswered Drake. Remember, they have the setup for this. Core's going to take a lot of damage. Flashes as well. But Afreeca have mid and bot lane turret. They should not be losing Drakes. So
they have really nothing that they can push in for to try to answer with either. So this is going to be a Drake going over to SKT. Good pressure built up by Wolf throwing out that, as well as the thrill of the hunt by Peanut to really start zoning them back. Not having that Petrifying Gaze as well, something that they don't really want to pick a fight without.
Well, that was just a poor setup for Afreeca. Like I said, when you take mid and bot lane turrets, you should really always have the inside track for Drakes.
Oh dear.
And specifically having 2 Mountain Drakes, you remember, in Game 1 was allowed them to rush the first Baron.
What is wrong with your mouse, Peanut?
This is a question that needs to be substantiated now that it's the 3rd pause for this.
Yep.
We'll be running out of hardware if neither of these mice are appropriate.
You can have mine from my laptop.
Gonna guess he might have a unique mouse, because otherwise he could just take, if everyone's using a Death Adder, for example, they could just grab one from one of the other players.
Yeah. We'll see if we can get confirmation as to whether or not this is another mouse issue or if we've bounced back into the realm of audio problems.
No team's had this many mouse issues since EDG at Worlds.
Things have stabilized a bit for SKT, especially off the back end of that Mountain Drake.
But no more than stabilized. This is not a 5,000 to 10,000 gold lead at 15, 16 minutes like has been the story with SKT. They are, in fact, behind in gold. 600, so very much line ball between the two. And I spoke about power spikes. Spirit Visage Gragas. The base values are starting to fall off. We are getting to 25, 30-minute phase soon. He will only really be an ult bot. Sure, he'll be annoying and tanky and do a bit of disruption, but no more than that. He is no Maokai. They need something big out of Rengar, which they weren't able to find in Game 1. Is just going to go for Guardian Angel next, so just looking for CC as well.
We've upgraded.
To a PC issue. That's not good.
Yeah, they did DC Peanut from the server.
We have seen OGN swap out PCs in about 7 or 8 minutes, so...
Yeah, very well. Could be the solution here as we try to get all of this resolved.
Might have to be a more extended pause, unfortunately, so I think it's ready for some talking, Achilles.
It does seem that way.
We're going to have to talk, but not about this particular game. Maybe for a couple more seconds. Again, the Gragas is the big question mark to me, because he will be a barrel and some slows and nothing else very soon.
Yeah.
And didn't get much done in the early game. Rise scales very well, Varus as well, but it does feel like Afreeca have the answers in the team fights. But they made so many correct decisions in the first game. The big question to me is, can they keep up that level of performance? Emphatically, when we're talking about series or multiple series, The answer is no, but it seems like when all these superstars wake up on the right side of the bed, you get games like Game 1.
It's just a little bit too inconsistent for them to be at the top of the charts at the moment, but, I mean, they're just putting on one hell of a show. This is really something else. I mean, SKT, they've been playing the bottom of the barrel teams at the moment. They haven't really had that high-level opposition yet, but the manner in which they were beating those teams seemed like they were on this upper echelon, but Afreeca Freecs, they are just playing out of their minds so far.
For 4 series in a row, SKT was legitimately playing a different video game than their opponents. It felt like they were playing League of Legends and the rest of them were playing Pokemon Go, I guess, is about the only applicable thing. They were just so far ahead, and of course that makes you think, okay, it's SKT, this org always wins. They're just going to run away with the season. But now we're seeing a real data point. Afreeca are a team. Afreeca, Longzhu, Samsung, KT. Those are the teams where you're like, what does SKT look against them? And so far, pretty big missteps in this series.
Yeah, definitely has been. I mean, getting that first blood on the Huni, not a great way to start things off for a player that's
we only just caught it.
Been known to tilt in the past. So we'll have to see how much work has Koma put in. We know that he's got him on tanks. Has he calmed down the attitude?
And that's an interesting thing to bring up. The T word is always a risky one to throw out, but you think back to the Smeb versus Huni matchup, and it seemed like that happened back at Worlds. In 2015, that was a long time ago. He's done a lot of growing up. It's an interesting question to gauge because you wouldn't really know. From all the word preseason was that they were dominating scrims. All the games they've played so far dominated. Huni's dominated himself. Do SKT really know what Huni looks like when they're not ahead? They just haven't had that problem recently.
Yeah, that's a good point. Haven't really seen it. But rough times for SKT. New feeling for them. Haven't really experienced this in quite a while. I mean, this is probably the stiffest competition that they've had since Worlds in the semifinal and the final.
Hey, they lost Casper Cup afterwards.
Okay, they lost Casper Cup.
To Rox Tigers. Kuro was not on that team. It was Cry playing, who is now Zet, the AD carry of EDG. It's a weird world right now.
I mean, he was always the one that they had to bring out against SKTelecom anyway, because Kuro historically not been able to perform, but today it's really stepping up. I mean, a couple, iffy, petrifying gazes in the last couple minutes of the game, but I mean, the beautifully timed one on the Realm Warp when they came in.
Yep.
So it seems like Kuro has kind of leveled up.
Oh, I mean, the balance between good and bad Kuro, which always seems to tilt towards bad against SKT, has certainly not happened here. So, again, needs to be complimented. Spirit also playing out of his mind on the Graves. Graves pick is going to jump way up in priority.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see some teams not even touching it. Samsung Haru in particular seemed to know. Was his best champion on CJ, but less said about CJ Haru the better. It's all about Samsung Haru.
Yeah, I want to forget that it's just. I just want to imagine it's somebody else that happens to have the same name, and that Haru from CJ is just gone. He's back in his solo queue, and he will stay there forever.
I was talking to who was it? I was talking to Gorilla, and I was like, he was like, Haru could be rookie of the split. I'm like, Gorilla, he played a whole season. He's like, no, rookie of the split. I'm like, okay.
It's not how that works, but all right, we'll give it to him. I mean, another one, Umti. It's kind of in running for that. He's been looking quite good. Maybe if we see more of Mowgli, we can throw him into consideration. We're not going to see more of Mowgli. Probably not after this performance from Spirit in this set.
I'm not saying we won't see another game of Mowgli, but an extended run of games, you just don't see it.
Oh, well. He'll get his chance some other time. Maybe on another team if Afreeca just wants to stick with Spirit the whole time through. But, oh, well. So, counter's still going down. 14 minutes remaining, and then we go into negative time.
Yep.
I imagine that they are swapping out the PC.
Yep.
So, likely just going to take a couple minutes, and then we'll have that underway. And hopefully, all will be well. We can carry out the rest of this series. Maybe just the rest of this game if Afreeca keep on this pace. Because right now, they're in a pretty decent spot. But they have to be concerned about late-game SKTelecom.
I've learned my lessons. At every point in every game where SKT's behind, I'm like, let's just wait for that Nexus to, explode. When it falls low, that's not really a big factor.
I mean, you really...
If it's 10,000 gold, I'm like, maybe.
You're really pushing that one in game one. You're just like, one fight for the Katarina, and it could all end.
I mean, given the comps, there was still a fight for Katarina to win that game, but Afreeca... I mean, think about Afreeca versus Janair game 2 where, I mean, they just weren't even playing together. They were doing lots. They were just playing some solo queue. It looked like dynamic queue with some superstars.
Yeah.
And then to be as organized and as practiced they were, maybe that's something about, over-preparing for one opponent, not for another, but adequate preparation for SKT for sure. I mean, just that spotting out on Huni was something I'd never expect to see from specifically a Afreeca Freecs.
Such a smart play. So, I mean, maybe SKT have just been, running this in the scrims so they know that this is something Huni likes to do. I don't know how prevalent the top lane Gragas is right now in high-level solo queue. Where I'm at, down in the dregs of it all, you don't see this coming through.
Again, it's a pick that was around. When Gragas was first changed, no more AP Assassin Gragas, was strong in top lane, was nerfed. Then the buff to the Happy Hour is really big. To go from 4% of your max HP to 6 is 50% more healing, and then Spirit Visage interacts. It's a lot of sustain, so tricky matchups kind of become a pushover for him. He gets through it. Drunken Rage max means that it's 30 mana to get that amount of sustain, so he's fairly immovable. So it's kind of, it's weird, because if you ask me, I mean, Maokai certainly scales better. There's no question there, but think of the other very tanky, manageable top laner. You think Nautilus. So the question is Gragas top better than Nos? I'd probably say no. He has more CC. He's not as ult-focused, but it's something different. It gives you the ward at level 1. That was punished. It has more mobility and safety. Huni's been locked down a few times this game, so they reached for something hoping that Afreeca didn't have any data points on it, and Afreeca actually had advanced scouting, apparently.
Yeah, seems like they were perfectly ready for this one. So, gonna work out. I don't know, maybe the Happy Hour buff's just not enough to really thrust Gragas back into the meta. Might need a little bit more tuning before we can see that pick become prevalent. Happy Hour, something that we're definitely going to be missing out on tonight, it seems.
Yep, it's going to be a late one. Let's check the time here. We got the time over there.
10:21.
10:21. Well,
so,
going late.
Yeah, happy hours are definitely over. You might miss your wing night tonight.
No. That ends at 12.
Yeah, you got to be out of here by midnight.
This is an acceptable time to miss wing night.
All right.
We had to sacrifice our old wing night. It was on Wednesdays, and it finished at 10 p.m. So life for caster, tough. You know, tough.
Can't get those food specials.
Can't get those
every
specials.
Time you want them.
I need my specials.
Meanwhile, you can just order, delicious fried chicken at 4 a.m. if you really want to.
I mean, I really could, but my specials.
I ordered a couple days ago when I was streaming. It was like 3:30 a.m., something like that, and everybody was just like, "Can you not do this? Like, now I'm hungry and I live in a place where I can't get food at this hour."
I get a lot of harassment on Twitter every time BBQ play about talking about fried chicken too much.
And you can't help it. If you guys tried the chicken, you wouldn't stop talking about it either. But we're getting some movement on the monitors right now. Seems like we might have the PC issues taken care of. I can hear the noises.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go. And no!
Oh,
no.
We wanted it, chat. We really did. We wanted to be ready.
That was a genuine yell from me. That's not good for my voice.
Watch yourself, friend. We've still got plenty of top-level League of Legends
I
coming
know.
at some point.
Yeah, eventually.
At this point, maybe... No, that wouldn't be possible, I guess.
What?
Like logging onto a different account, going to a practice game, and then coming back onto this account. I don't know how long you're allowed to be away on the tournament realm. Again, the procedure here is obviously well drilled. They've got Riot Korea staff on call and potentially in the building as well. So hopefully we get through these issues. Very unfortunate given how great the series has been so far.
Yeah. I mean, a game one that truly delivered. Game two was getting that way.
It was popping.
But this has really kind of slowed down the pace, halted things for us. But I don't know. I'm still antsy. I'm still ready to get back in. But hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
We'll start crossing those toes again.
All right.
I know that made you uncomfortable before.
We're crossing. It was the noise you made when you did it.
Come on, you just yelped as the game stopped.
Okay, but that you had like this weird grunt going on when you did.
Is it that like?
You're like.
It's when it says like annoyed grunt and like in the. I forget what those are called. What's it called when there's the less than greater than? Not ellipses, something like that.
Brackets?
Brackets. Are they, well,
they're not really brackets, but,
triangle brackets?
They kind of...
Triangle brackets.
They work as brackets.
We've got some more gameplay over here.
But
that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Is it going to be followed up by another pause? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, he's killing a Scuttle Crab. Scuttle Crab has died.
Scuttle Crab is dead.
That's an objective kill.
All right, so the PC issue wasn't that Scuttle Crab can't die.
Wouldn't be the strangest bug in a League of Legends game.
It's very true. Hidden feature. The immortal crab.
That will be extra relevant on this patch because you just eat all the fruit from the honey fruit. So now Scuttle Crab eats honey fruit.
That's true.
Theoretically, the better Baron taking team would also have a big advantage with no Scuttle Crab.
Imagine if the Scuttle Crab could eat fruit and then Prey lost that kiting fight in this game versus Longzhu because the Scuttle Crab and Ethan.
I'm sorry, I'm just lost now on a hidden interaction between Gangplank and the Scuttle Crab. Just eats the orange, puts it on cooldown. Getting a bit silly over here. That's what happens when we have triple pause.
Very long pauses, too. That one was about 20 minutes or so. So, nowhere near the realm of that hour and 15 minutes or whatever it was that I've tried to shut out of my mind.
The
summer.
Socks and Hangman event.
And the AMA.
Yes.
We checked off all the boxes on that day. That was Faker pushing forward though. Spirit waiting in the wings, going to find Wolf. Takes a lot of damage. Exhaust comes out.
Spirit out of
get locked down, but he's able to get that quick draw over the wall to get himself out to safety. And in the end, still has about half HP left.
Yeah, blows a lot of cooldowns and none of his own. Actually, only just ultimate. Let's get out.
Realm Morph coming through. Marin in the river. Just advance in onto Peanut. Here comes Hootie over the wall with a body slam. Marin's going to go ahead, flash away. Pops the Maelstrom. Won't be able to hit anybody.
They now have inside track onto mid lane. They can catch Faker if they try to walk through. Yep, they're going to get at least some free damage, maybe more.
It looks like they might be able to just take this one out. Kuro trying to zone them back. Has the Petrifying Gaze ready to go. Hootie pushes forward. A couple more hits would do it, but they're unable to get that last little tap to knock down the turret, but still so much ground gained by Afreeca. You can see just how much respect SKT has to pay to them.
Surprising to see Hootie not ult Maokai when he was all alone. Could have gone for a very early ult, and then it would have been Maokai literally against 5. Now it's SKT with the inside track onto a turret, which is already low. Teleport!
Got TP from behind. They spot this out.
Very
They're going to
deep.
start peeling back.
Nice interrupt on the home guards, though.
Yeah, Hail of Arrows just locked him up.
Faker all alone.
By himself. They will stun him up with a Petrifying Gaze. He flashes, but he still goes down. Kuro comes up with a kill now. Hootie getting locked down by Marin on the other side. They're trying to collapse in. Good spell shield by Kramer to get rid of that chain of corruption.
And it fizzles. That's the interaction there. It fizzles, so it does not spread because it's shielded. And everyone gets away. So just a single kill. They can't even finish the mid lane turret, posturing towards the Baron. But with Maokai on the other side of the map and Spirit recalling, there won't be any other gain. So compared to the previous series, less massive wins from picks. That was what really helped Afreeca snowball in the previous game. It's just gold this time, so SKT can weather the storm for now.
I mean, just gold, but also the flash down from Faker. Uncharacteristically flashing when he was still dead to rights, so loses out on that one. So chase down potential on somebody on the side of Afreeca. It's pretty limited now. He still will have that ghost coming back up. For now, though, looks like Afreeca just going to go ahead and start getting some vision drawn down on the Baron. Are they doing this Baron? I think they're doing this Baron. Kuro and Spirit are inside the pit. We're just looking at top laners fight. Go over to this. They sneak in on the backside. They have no idea this is happening.
Rengar has an idea, Achilles. Not 100%. I know he moves
He's
back.
clearing a ward. They have no idea that this is going down. Spirit goes low, but it doesn't even matter. The shields from Tucson are there. They sneak out the Baron. Peanut now just arriving. Will be able to interrupt one of these, but there we go. They just exit out the backside of the pit. Afreeca, what a genius steal.
When Graves is this far ahead, and also the itemization of going for this Sterix gauge was tankier than expected. When Maokai was showing on bot, they had no expectation of all of Baron. Remember, the Baron in game 1 with double Mountain Drake was what finally allowed Afreeca to cement their early advantage, and now, just out of nowhere, they have one in game 2.
Whatever happened to the shot calling on the side of Afreeca Freecs, I'm so very sad that it wasn't there for their first couple series.
All I want to do is pipe some questions over to Dongjun and Cloud Templar if they win this game and ask, so who's doing the talking? I know teams never like to answer that
Even
question.
if they don't win this game, I still would love to know. Because whoever they are, they have really stepped up to the plate here against SKTelecom.
We can only speculate that it's Marin. I know some people take a lot of exception with that, as there's been interviews that say that it was balanced shot calling between Marin and Faker. But there was clearly a change when Duke came into the lineup. Took a long time for SKT to play with a top laner who didn't have the teleport play or the instant respect that an older pro gamer like Marin, who turns 26 very soon, what an early birthday present this would be.
Yeah, for sure. Faker coming in with a Realm Warp, not able to find anybody to jump onto.
Kuro's out of position here. Very out of position.
Spirit. Faker, he's popped the ghost. He's
Kuro's
trying to get
dead to rights.
Prison connects, but he jumps away with the collateral damage. And now Kuro, as you've been saying, Petrifying Gaze will connect on the Peanut, but So much damage.
He's alive!
But the heal comes through. He's still alive. Chain of Corruption down on Marn will lock up Tucson. Can they even kill the Karma? The answer is no. Big Mantra Shield coming through on the entire team. They will exit, and SKT will find nothing but an Ocean Drake.
No flash on Kuro, still survives. Expert escape. Not going to call this a massive objective for SKT. They wanted more. That's why Faker put so much effort into taking down Spirit, because they wanted to turn onto what they assumed was a free kill on Kuro. Wasn't to be. He gets out. And Super Minions, no, it's going to be Kramer. Finally take down this inner turret.
Now SKT down by 2,000 gold. Still not the greatest of leads at 28.5 minutes. But Afreeca Freecs are just making all the right moves, and SKTelecom just can't bring a kill, and even on the squishy members of Kuro and Tucson.
And it's not like the team fights get better, Achilles. The itemization's only looking stronger and stronger for specifically Marin, but Kuro increasingly. Uni fishing for an ult. Not to find one.
Wave clear still strong from SKT.
What you giggling about over there, Achilles?
I really can't say.
Not broadcast appropriate.
I really can't say. I thought about the phrasing of something, and it's a little ill-advised in hindsight. But all right, on the hunt pop, big body slam by Huni, throws out the cast, but won't really lock up many people. Spirit flashing away, still has the staircase to keep him alive. Kuro, the big shield coming through.
No one
just
ever
a
dies.
second too late on the piercing arrow for Bang, or a second too early, rather, I should say. And Kuro, everyone on Afreeca will be able to get out with their lives yet again.
No one ever dies on this side of Afreeca. The buddy system, just some luck. Everything goes their way. Every time they get away with the Baron buff recalls. Not quite the power play from game one, but still a pretty solid one from the side of Afreeca Freecs. And the itemization's only starting to kick in. 3 items now on Kramer. Most people did not think Sivir could get to this stage in the current meta, with the other champions having such a stronger time in lane. Turbo Maokai is still a thing, although Kramer's ult is not quite up yet.
And Wolf has the strut, working his way out of the jungle to safety. But now Afreeca turning over onto this inhib turret.
Faker's out of position.
Yeah, Faker way out of position. Gonna be coming in late. The turret has already been taken out. Huni looking for a play from the sidelines. Doesn't have the barrel quite yet. Just now coming off cooldown. Body slams forward, but can't get in range.
Every time you see Gragas on the screen, you have to remember it's not old Gragas. It's much harder to pull off skillful plays. There is one interaction we have not seen often. I believe only once I've seen it in competitive play. You can buffer the Gragas ult, then flash because of the fixed travel time. It is a big investment. It's very hard to pull off. But it's still possible, and Huni is a supremely mechanically talented player, so we'll see if that is a relevant factor later in the game. They got Cassiopeia on the Rift. We all know about how her ult can interact with Flash. Can't do that quite craziness on Gragas, but can get a lot done.
I haven't seen Kuro try to pull that out the style on Faker yet.
Hasn't needed to.
It's true. Just be maximum BM.
I think maximum BM is Afreeca Freecs 2-0ing SKT. Let's be real here.
It's still looking like that might just be the result here. Afreeca maintain a lead. Baron that netted them quite a bit. Now they have that exposed inhibitor in mid, so SKT, they have to be so cautious about pushing outside of the base. Because you get Spirit in there, Kramer, on top of that inhib, and it is going to go away very quickly.
Faker and Marin, tete-a-tete in the top lane.
Bang.
They want to kill
on
Bang.
the hunt. He takes a big hit from the crit. Throws out the chain of corruption,
Kramer!
but it does not connect. He had the spell shield up anyway, I do believe. And that is going to be Bang going down. Now Peanut running for his life, has to throw out the bola to connect onto Marin for fear of that flash twisted advance.
Kuro and Kramer, the kings of passivity in many games, are just going all in, seizing their moment. And SKT will lose an inhibitor at minimum. Short Faker is split pushing, likely to get an inner turret. That is a free inhibitor.
Didn't have much of a wave with him. They're still quite far away. Looks like, okay, he will be able to knock this down, but he's going to have to get out of dodge very quickly. Meanwhile, Afreeca, they can go ahead and set up for that next Baron that's going to be spawning in 30 seconds.
Varus, plenty of time to get in position because still short death timers. Feels like a lot longer game than 32 minutes because of the unfortunate pauses.
And SKT, they just They are struggling harder than we have really, dare I say, ever seen them struggle?
That is certainly an overstatement, Achilles. It's calmed down over there. They were 7th
in the last
spring season. They also had some downtime the previous season. We're going again. Bang's got no flash, man.
Oh, yeah, he pops the Ghost Blade, but it's not going to do much of anything.
Dead.
He gets locked down. He gets taken out. Spirit coming up with yet another kill. Realm Warp thrown down by Faker,
Oh,
but
baby!
they interrupted the Petrifying Gaze coming through from Koro. Takes him out. A double kill for the Graves. Wolf will be able to limp his way out to safety, but now the Super Creeps pushing down mid lane. 40 seconds on Faker. Afreeca Freecs are going to be going for the 2-0 right here.
It's hard to finish. They have super minions, but some of them are being slowed by Gragas. A lot of turret damage from Kramer, though. This could be it.
Wolf throwing out the bullet time, trying to chunk them out, trying to get rid of the waves. So the first Nexus turn is going to fall. Kramer takes a little bit of damage. Peanut, can he get on top of him? Can he do anything to try to delay this? The answer looks like it is yes as Tuzin goes down, but the crits coming through from Kramer almost gets rid of Peanut. That's it. The Nexus will go down 33.5 minutes. Afreeca Freecs not just deliver the first game loss to SKTelecom, but they take them down in the match 2-0.
A famous victory, Achilles, as Afreeca 2-0 and now have 6 games in a row across 2 lineups with a completely new lease on life. This team lost to Jin Air a week ago, 2-0. This reverse 2-0 was unfathomable after that game. They looked all at sea after game 2, and they were so clean. And now you think about the series. First game, it was about Marin. Marin was fine in the second game, but Spirit had a massive series. Kuro had a massive series. Kramer, of all people, was running wild with the Sivir engages in the late game with his pocket pick. And the pocket pick for Huni wasn't Lucian this time, it was the Gragas, and it did not work. And it feels like a final, you know? Remember that this is very much just a regular season game. SKT may go on to win Worlds, they may go on to win this season, but right now they are shell-shocked for the first time.
Yep. You can see it on the faces of the players. Meanwhile, Afreeca Freecs absolutely ecstatic after their win. Seemed like an impossible task for this team that has given up games to MVP, to Jin Air, a 2-0. But they managed to take down SKTelecom when it matters. And SKT, they have some serious thinking to do because that is going to give first place over to KT Rolster.
Homer's strap, Homer's words. No one's happy on the side of SKT. It was supposed to be a celebration week for SKT. Faker broke the streaming record earlier in the week. They thought they could just, you know, dismiss Marin and the Afreeca Freecs, but against all odds, it's Afreeca that are the ones that are celebrating, and so much to celebrate because this should be a new dawn for the team. If they go on to struggle against bottom teams, then we'll smile about the blue shell analogy, but if they go on to make it to the playoffs, let's say SKT come second, and they have to play against Afreeca Freecs in the semifinal, that would be a story.
No clue what would happen in that context. We just have to wait until the playoffs to find out if it's going to play out that way, Papa Smithy.
Isn't it nice when we have so many Christmas presents? Just our next match is Samsung versus KT. I don't know who's going to win that either.
So much unknown. Only one way to find out. We're going to have to watch the games as they come up. But for now, we can celebrate the victory of Afreeca Freecs taking down SKTelecom.
Spirit should be so happy. This guy looked like an Olaf one-trick, what, a week ago?
He played out of his mind on the Graves.
Looked wonderful on the Graves. When Kindred first came into the meta, he was one of the first Kindreds to really build the Hurricane, understand the limits of that champion. We're seeing damage graphs on our screen.
That's pretty damning, actually.
We're looking at damage dealt. Faker actually has the lowest damage dealt on his team. Misfortune has the most.
Almost in the game.
Misfortune has the most, to be clear.
Yeah, we'll probably get that chart up on the screen in just a bit. There you have it.
Insane.
So Wolf doing the most damage for SKT over top of Averis, and Faker is coming up wildly short on the rise.
No ability to get into fights in the late game because Afreeca were very organized, and SKT could never push the double split push advantage. They had enough in game 1. Game 1 MVP was Marin. Guess what? It's narrative time, Achilles. Let's talk to Marin for a while, because if there's a man to pick the brains of, it's the mastermind of Afreeca Freecs taking down SKTelecom T1 2-0 for the 3rd time in a row.
And it stings even harder because now he's tied with Faker at number 1.
I love the fact that Faker probably should be first because his name starts with F, but they put Marin first anyway.
Because his team starts with A.
That's true.
So there you go.
1 A+ for Afreeca Freecs. Well deserved.
I mean, well-deserved win by everybody on Afreeca Freecs. Kuro played out of his mind on this entire series on the Corki.
I'm sad they don't show us his 1v3 1-for-1. They skipped that one,
yeah.
OGN, that was the best part of this game. And he just, you know, he invited aggro, he did not die. How many times did the Afreeca Freecs someone exit fights with a slither of health? Gold denied from SKT.
It just seemed like what we've seen in the past. I mean, this was just, there we go, beautiful play from Kuro yet again. But it just seems like the Afreeca Freecs that we saw just a little while ago, where there was no communication whatsoever, has just gone out the window. These guys are so cohesive. There's so much communication. And the members that we were worrying about, Tucson and Kramer in the bottom lane, they hold their own, and they even exceed that of Bang & Wolf.
They do it their way, and you're right. I think it would take a strong man to say that Kramer and Tucson could stand up to Bang & Wolf. They did that on this day. Famous victory for the Afreeca Freecs. They've done it before. 6-0 in a row is the craziest stat of all time, and it's time to talk to the man in the top lane.
There we go. All right, well, let's go ahead and hear from Marin. We'll throw it over to Joel for the translation. Take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your last translation interview of the day. I don't know how many people would have expected this result as Afreeca Freecs pick out a 2-0 victory against SKTelecom T1. And we are here with potentially the main character of this whole series, and we are here with Marin, who earns MVP for both games. Congratulations on the win. Can you give us a win? Give a comment on the win. You know, I got the MVP, but you can't just take out all the other players and all the coaches that really helped make this win possible. There were a lot of predictions coming into this game with you facing up against Huni, who has been stellar in the past games. What are your thoughts on that? I felt like Huni did play a little differently than he usually does. And because of that, it gave me a nicer advantage going into this matchup. And if he played as he usually does, it would have been a tough matchup, but you know, he wasn't as his usual form today. And it's just another game with you on a Rumble. And you picked it blind without, you know, even thinking about, you know, what Huni could come up with. Where did your confidence come from? When I'm picking Rumble, it's all about the team fights that I'm really counting on. And with this opening the initiates, and if I can get that done, I feel like it can contribute a whole lot to my team. And that's the whole reason for why I picked Rumble that game.
진짜 신기하네요. 그냥 항상 신기하죠, 이런 선수들과 얘기하다 보면. 네, 그러면 마린 선수의 이제 플레이 영상이 준비되어 있거든요.
And there's a replay of Marin's play.
와, 이 장면이 저 진짜 컸다고 생각해요. 여기서 전투 판단을 하신 그거가 뭔가요?
What was the decisiveness that you came up with to making this play?
네, 저희가 먼저 테를 탔고, 네, 그리고
I took the TP first before the other team, and I felt like that as soon as I opened the initiation, the other team, SKT, could not follow up in timely enough, and that's when I made the play. Of course, Marin, you played really well today, but you have to give credits to your other teammates who played extremely well. Would you like to, you know, give credit to other teammates who showed a lot of confidence coming into this game? We actually practiced Graves into the Rengar during our practices, and so we were confident in that matchup that Spirit will do that, and that's the reason we kind of intended that pick against that pick ban pick phase. You know, with the coach having so much confidence in us, it's just a thing that really powered us up heading into this match. A second ban pick was really surprising for us, where it was really outside our thinking of the current meta. What was kind of the preparation method behind that? So they SKT prioritized Jace in the first round. And we felt like that team lost because of they didn't have a true tank. And if we felt like if we can eliminate as many tanks as possible in the second round, we thought that we were gonna win. And you know, getting the Maokai first was really a priority for us. And regarding the DPS, you know, having Cassiopeia in mid is a champion that you can always count on for DPS, and we created a good balance for us heading into that priorities.
그리고 아프리카 프릭스에 대한 재밌는 얘기 중에 예전 진에어가 들었던 별명이기도 한데 뭐 의적.
Another fun story about Afreeca is you guys always maintain this record from year in and year out where it's not so stellar in the earlier part of this stage, but it always shoots up at the near the end of the season. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I think we do go back and forth on our records, but it's this thing where, you know, if we play well, we play extremely well. But if we play bad, we just play extremely bad, and those are some of the things that we are trying to focus on and trying to compensate on. And hopefully we get better soon.
빨리 보완하기를 바라보고요. 그러면 단독 MVP로 선정된 선수들에게 꼭 한번 드리는
As a sole MVP, we always ask this question to them.
오늘 어떤 선수가 정말
Other than you, who would have been suitable for the MVP today?
한 명만
If you can pick one.
수 있을까요?
한 명씩 해야겠죠?
I'm only supposed to pick one, right?
1, 2경기로 나눠서
디테일해요.
Can I separate into the first game and the second game?
1경기는 일단 쿠로 이소잉
In the first game, I believe that Kuro was the other MVP
잘 했던 것 같고
of the game.
2경기는 좀 고민되긴
In the
하는데
second set, it's a bit of back and forth, but
또 잘하긴 했는데
Spirit played well.
일단
But I really want to give credit out to Kramer, who played really well in the second game and who geared a lot toward the win.
저희가 그래 너가 CS 다 먹어라.
We just asked Kramer to take all the CS, and that was his mission in the second game. So, you know, so that's what he did.
Double's like, man, I gotta come to LCK.
I believe Kramer was the MVP in the second match, other than me.
살짝 들어가는데 CS 뭐 배분에 대한 부분. 그러니까 주요 오더에 대해서 확실히 말이
This is one of the big things that we wanted to ask. Who's the biggest shot caller in the game?
Here we go.
Here we go. All right.
좀 오더 쪽에서 막좀 사공이 많아서 산으로 가는
We always have a lot of conflicts making the shot calling between our teammates.
그냥 제 중후반부터는 제가 그냥
From the second half of the game, I usually make the primary shot calling. And that's kind of the answer, guys.
There we go.
Hey, someone clip that front of Reddit, please.
이것에 대해서 많이 질문을 받으셨을
There'll still be naysayers.
역시 나는 좀 경기 운영
I know people get really mad when you ask
생각하시는 게
about
있나요?
they say stuff about that.
자신감이
More on
있으신지.
shot caller deniers.
일단 저희 팀이 말리지 않고
Worst.
상대
One thing that I consider important is, you know, always keeping our confidence and never letting it down.
싸울 수 있는
And, you know, whenever the team fight opportunities do come, we need to be as aggressive as possible.
마선 실세가 맞는 말은 아니고
But, you know, with regarding the many talks about me, a lot of the things aren't true, so
감사한 말씀
just keep an eye out.
드리겠습니다.
일단 저희 팀이 못할 땐 또 엄청 못하고
You know, you've seen that our team, when we're in bad condition, when we're in a bad form, we do really bad, but
아무튼
we just really want to try hard and, you know, to always maintain our good form and hopefully get a better result by the end of the season. And even if we do perform bad at times, I hope you guys continue to support for us.
자주 나올 것 같거든요. 그래서
And I feel like we will get a good result at the end of the season. So always, you know, have confidence in us, and we just want to continue to support us.
네, 정말
And that's the end of the review. Back over to you guys.
Good talk of that, Marin.
오늘 승리로 기세를 탄 아프리카
Very
프렉스의
much so. Well,
이후에 SK에서
I mean, what more can you say?
That budding Afreeca fan base is gonna get some new members tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be one interesting post-game thread. At the end of the day, there's only one team logo remaining on the pedestal, and it is Afreeca Freecs, who closed out the seemingly impossible 2-0 victory over top of SKTelecom D1, really knocking them down a notch, both, you know, mentally with their attitude coming in, their confidence, but also on the ranking.
If you think about it, they're 3-2 versus KT Rolster and SKT in the course of 2 best-of-3s. They actually have a positive win rate against the teams that almost everyone has pegged as, you know, playing in the World Finals against each other.
Yeah, can see right there, +6 on the scoreline. Now KT going to be quite comfortable with that +3.
Best
that they have.
6th place team in the world, Achilles.
It is the best 6th place team ever. So, I mean, this is one of those things you can look at when people say if so-and-so team from NA came to LCK, they could be middle of the pack. But, all right, we're not done yet. We're going to have tomorrow off as it's Friday. That's Apex Day for Overwatch. But on Saturday, we'll be coming back in KT Rolster versus Samsung. Definitely another one that you do not want to miss, because if it's anything like this second match from today, it's going to be absolutely insane. Closing out will be Rocks Tigers versus Longzhu. Rocks right now in 9th, desperately needing a win to inch themselves further ahead of Gongdu Monster. Longzhu definitely want to be working their way back up and solidifying the top 5.
Series on Sunday. We will not be casting this over at the Gangnam Stadium. Valdez and LS will bring you SKT versus BBQ. A very different game. Both these teams coming off 2-0 losses. Strange to say. And Jin Green Wings versus MVP to close out the week.
Yeah, and that'll be a really good one to kind of judge who the 7th, 8th place team is going to be, more than likely from what we've seen from Jin and MVP.
You're talking about the
thus far.
second series, right?
Oh, oh no, yes. So Jin and MVP looking like that's where they're going to be resting at the end of this split. But I mean, we're not even halfway through it. We're still in round 1. There's plenty more games to be played. So you never know what's going to happen. I didn't think Afreeca was going to win 2-0, and that happened. So whatever.
What a season, Achilles.
What a
exactly
season
like we hoped.
We will see you guys on Saturday for the next games. Have a good night.